back to DS9 watch, people! And despite all of the Trek I've covered so far, I've never really talked that extensively about Worf. So I suppose the perfect time to do that is right now, as I cover his most beloved episode. Worf is undoubtedly a huge fan favorite. He's certainly the longest tenured Star Trek character as far as screen time goes. He'd already had 7 years worth of development on Next Generation before he was added to Deep Space Nine in Season 4, meaning the audience got 11 straight seasons of Worf, plus the TNG movies. And while not every story focused on him was great, they were able to avoid character fatigue by changing the dynamics around him on DS9. And because they had a heavier focus on long-form story arcs than TNG, Worf's character was able to gain more depth. This is especially evident in his romance with Jadzia, which, at least to me, felt a lot more earned and interesting than his half-assed and frankly confusing pairing with Troi near the end of Next Gen. Worf and Dax were equals. Dax knew what she wanted and couldn't be bullied when Worf was giving into his worst tendencies. And Worf was super into her kinky shit. In my opinion, it was easily the most compelling Worf love story. And that brings us to Let He Who Is Without Sin, where DS9 assassinates Worf's character with extreme prejudice. I know that Worf is a complex guy whose gruff exterior largely comes from the Klingon world he didn't grow up in, yet desperately seeks to emulate as he reclaims his cultural identity. But what if, instead of that, he was just a fucking asshole? I mean, a total prick. And he was a dick to his girlfriend because he's a jealous loser. So jealous, he's willing to team up with terrorists in order to ruin her vacation. Does that sound like a good plot? Well, too bad. You clicked on the video, so you're gonna have to go through the episode with me.
Sometimes you wanna go
more!
Everybody knows your name.
What's this? A Morn romance? Maybe. Actually, this episode is awesome. Okay, I kind of love this too. Odo and Sisko are forced to make lame small talk over coffee before Jadzia can slink in and start the plot of the episode.
I like to, hang out with you, Captain.
Yes, we're totally chilling, bud.
Yeah, cool. Just a couple of hangout guys.
So anyway, this is a Risa episode. It's been less than a minute, and we haven't talked about sex yet. Well, here's Dax with some Worf bedroom-related injuries. Yes, it's a running thing that Klingon whoopee is so rough that both parties have to regularly go to sickbay afterwards. Which is funny for Dax, and even funnier when you imagine Troi being in the same situation. I never imagined Troi being into that sort of thing. But perhaps that's why Riker finally got back together with her.
Maybe we'll have better luck on Risa.
Risa?
Are we still doing episodes on that stupid sex planet? Just wait until Enterprise. They have a whole story arc just trying to get there. So Worf wanted to go visit Earth, but Jadzia wanted to go to Risa. And guess who wears the pants in this relationship? Talking about the possible horny hospitalizations in their future turns these three into the giggle triplets.
Oh, grow up.
Isn't he sweet?
Already, Worf's bitchiness has begun. He's upset because Jadzia had lunch with Captain Baudet, who she dated in the past. He also thinks Jadzia talks too much about their personal life, and she thinks he's too controlling. So, things seem to be going great.
Well, this is awkward. Captain, shall we continue our hangout elsewhere?
Thanks for ruining the vibes, Worf. Oh please, let me ruin the vibes. I may not be a creep anymore, but Season 1 Bashir is always in my heart. Julian and Lita want to join them on their trip. And sure, why not? Who wouldn't want to go on a sex vacation with all of their friends? And I guess, Sisko also wants to get in on this?
I really wish I was going with you. Dax and I had some great times on Risa.
And I would very much like to relive all of the pleasant memories of boning your girlfriend, Worf.
Oh, come on.
It's fine. She was in a different body and a guy at the time. It barely counts. Oh hey, are we horning in on sex vacations around here? Sign me up!
What's he gonna do? Turn around and take me home? Ruin everyone's vacation?
Ruin everyone's vacation? I like that.
In an unusually generous gesture, Quark then gives everyone but Worf a fertility statue so they can let the locals know they're down to clown. People always talk about Worf acting out of character here, but no one mentions Quark suddenly becoming sexy Ferengi Santa Claus. But I guess, as Gene Roddenberry let everyone know whether they were willing or not, Ferengi have magnum dongs. Quark must be so aroused he can't think straight.
Look, they like each other.
I do enjoy Lita having their fertility statues make out like a couple of Barbies. Really sets the maturity tone for the whole episode. Anyway, the sex planet awaits! Everyone's in their garish 90s bathing suits. Let the TV-friendly orgies commence! I particularly enjoy Bashir's pants. Genuinely, I have no complaints about the styling situation.
Well, enjoy your vacation.
Well, enjoy that line delivery. Anywho, now that everyone's split off for some PG-rated smut, Worf will continue to have a stick up his ass and make his girlfriend miserable. But despite this, he is also horny.
I guess we should just go home.
Well, maybe. I would not be so hasty.
Sexy makeouts are only okay if it involves me.
And here comes, Vanessa Williams for some reason. You would not think she would be an important character, but, canonically, she sexed Dax's old persona to death.
We had a wonderful time together, until I killed him.
Killed him?
Death by Jamaharan. I suppose there are worse ways to go.
Trust me, he died happy.
5 seasons in, and you're gonna casually throw out that, oh, by the way, this main character was fucked to death in a past life? Okay, so not only are they saying Curzon died while having sex with Vanessa Williams, but Jadzia is totally thrilled to be hanging out with the woman who sexed him to death, and has chosen to take her new boyfriend to the planet where said death sex occurred. And, judging by the fact Jadzia and Worf regularly hospitalize each other during intercourse, Dax appears to be looking to repeat her previous demise. I'm assuming this is just how the Dax symbiont wants it. This backstory is also apparently contradictory to other accounts of Curzon's death, but it is the funniest and therefore the one I accept.
Your new host is very attractive.
Why, I could see myself sexing you to death in so many different ways. Aw, how sweet. Worf is also rude to Vanessa Williams, but in this case, I kinda think it's on Jadzia for thinking he'd be cool with the chick who literally killed her previous self mid-coitus. Plus was obviously flirting with her, and oh yeah, they're on the sex planet. So Worf thinks Jadzia is too loosey-goosey with their relationship, and they should just get married. Not sure why she isn't tempted by this enticing offer, but she nonetheless orders him to bathing suit up, hot stuff.
I am nothing but a piece of meat to her. I am tired of being known only for my body and not my brains.
Oh, just you wait. This episode is about to get real dumb. As pleased as I am to see Monte Markham, unfortunately, his character is ass. This is Pascal Fullerton, the chairman of the New Essentialist Movement.
My name is Pascal Fullerton. I'm the chairman of the New Essentialist Movement.
And I just wander into random people's rooms to tell them about my cult.
This is completely normal. Go on.
We're a bunch of uptight buzzkills who don't want anyone else to have any fun. Care to, I don't know, join my terrorist organization and spoil everyone's good time?
Only if it is inexplicably consequence-free.
It'll never come up again. So basically, these dudes are a bunch of Puritans who think the Federation has gotten too icky supporting all of this sex stuff. And I guess Worf gets one copy of the Watchtower and he's all in on this. In fact, Dax should read up too. He's only known of this organization's existence for approximately, 2 seconds. And now, Quentin Tarantino's favorite scene. Hey, are we showing off our stinky feet around here? Apparently, this scene was originally shot with Lita naked in a hot tub, which they had to redo because, as Rick Berman put it, it was too sexy for Star Trek. And you know, if Rick Berman said it was too sexy, the orders did not come from him.
Now what do you say we go sign out a couple floaters and take in the sights?
No thanks, Dax. There's already enough floaters in this episode.
I would much rather spend my sex vacation at a cult rally.
Perhaps you underestimate the power of Fullerton's message.
You met him for 1 minute, Worf. 1 minute! All right, everyone. I know what you're thinking. Consensual sex on a pleasure planet isn't really that big of a deal, and Star Trek's depiction of it is mildly cringy at best. But I present to you this argument. No.
Ah yes, a powerful message.
So Worf thinks, like, the Federation is vulnerable and all of this war stuff is happening because, like, people have become too soft, and I guess hanging out on Risa makes them children? Look, I don't know. This is stupid.
None of this has anything to do with Risa.
Or does it?
No, it doesn't.
Screw it, I'm gonna become a terrorist.
Hands up, everyone! We're gonna shoot some morals into you!
Well, I hope we've proved our point.
If you weren't on the sex planet, you would have been ready for some random idiots with guns. The moral of the story is, always be paranoid you're going to die, as the Space Bible tells us. So, because they weren't really intending to shoot anyone, they're just allowed to threaten people with guns and leave with no repercussions?
As a Starfleet officer, I have the authority to arrest you for what you just did.
But that would be a waste of time.
Ah, okay then.
What Mr. Fullerton could use is a little Jamaharan. No, a lot of Jamaharan.
You know, because that's how he killed you. By the way, while all of this is going on, Lita and Julian actually came here so they could initiate the Bajoran ritual of separation, which I guess means act really horny and then break up. Apparently, Alexander Siddig wasn't happy with his performance here because Nana Visitor just had his baby and he was really distracted. And honestly, I can't even imagine the intense brain fog of having your first kid, slipping into some Zubas, and then filming the Worf changes the weather on Risa episode.
What does that mean?
Screw it, I'm gonna become a terrorist.
The episode attempts to remind us that Dax and Worf are supposedly in love, but I don't know. Judged solely by what we see here, I am as dubious as Julian.
But what I want is Worf.
Why?
Here's where the real bullshit begins. Worf slinks on over to the essentialists with a brilliant idea. Fuck with the weather grid and annoy everyone into leaving. Somehow, this will change people's morals and restore the sanctity of the Federation. Or something. Okay, so obviously, Worf is a jealous asshole who's been easily swayed into joining a Puritan cult in order to control what his girlfriend does. But like, I'm unclear why we're supposed to care about the consequences of changing the weather on Risa. I mean, are we supposed to be bummed that they have to have sexy times indoors? What are the stakes here? The plan, apparently, is just to be annoying, and who gives a flying fig?
That's right, it was me. I changed the weather on Risa. Jadzia, now we will commence with the vacation I wanted on Earth, and our relationship will be stronger than ever.
For some reason, I'm going to marry you after this.
But why are you doing this?
The plot is literally you ruin people's vacation with bad weather? What's the point of that?
If Federation citizens cannot handle a little bad weather, how will they handle a Dominion invasion?
Oh, see, now it makes sense. No, still stupid. And now everyone just, sits around being bored while it rains. The dramatic tension could be cut with a knife. But maybe this episode has a point to make. One rainy afternoon, and suddenly everyone is cranky about everything.
Maybe Mr. Fullerton was right. Maybe we have forgotten how to deal with adversity.
Yes, people complaining to resort management demonstrates how quickly our society can fall apart when slightly inconvenienced out of our lazy complacency, unprepared for the horrors of war. Or people get mad when their vacations are messed up.
And you can be sure the guests that have stayed are taking what you have to say seriously.
But are they? Okay, so maybe the message is a little muddled. But rest assured, there is a lesson to be imparted here.
I see. Ruin the vacations of a few 100,000 people to bolster the moral fiber of the Federation.
Well, it just sounds dumb when you word it that way.
Unlike the entirety of this plot, Dax isn't stupid, and she recognizes that Worf's pissy fit was because of them. I'm not sure who ever considered it to be about anything else, considering all he's done is bitch about their relationship since they got there, but nonetheless, he must be confronted. Again! To give this episode some credit, they do take a moment to do something with Worf's character that isn't crapping all over his entire development up until this point. He likes to point to Klingon values and compare Jadzia to Klingon women, but, as Dax points out, Curzon spent more time in his culture than he did, and Klingons don't all have this much of a bug up their butt. Well, it turns out, when Worf was 13, he accidentally killed a kid at a soccer game.
I had not felt the impact, but I had broken his neck, and he died the next day.
Ooh, that's rough, bud. And so, from that day forth, Worf decided he must hold himself back rather than hurt anyone else, and that's why he's so controlling. But also, he's a jealous asshole who was easily swayed into a cult. Anyway, he learns that he can't always control everything, and Jadzia is her own person who cares about him. But can their relationship survive Risa's weather problems? That's right, it's earthquake time. That's weather, right? Whatever, we've got 3 minutes to wrap this up. Let's get this moving.
Give me that.
Oh, I guess I'm defeated. I know I spent all this episode telling people their immorality will get them killed due to lack of preparedness, but I, the moral prepared guy, couldn't possibly have foreseen you sternly telling me to stop. Oh, I don't know why I thought I could take you. Wait, so nothing is going to happen to them or Worf? Surely something illegal happened here? Hello? Hello? And now, sexy skinny dipping time? And nothing was learned by all. The end. A lot of people think of this as Worf's worst episode. And while there may have been Worf plots I enjoyed less, I can agree it's probably the worst one for his character. It was nice finding out a little bit about his childhood, but it doesn't justify his behavior throughout the episode. Worf might be uptight and controlling, but it's still insane that he teamed up with a terrorist organization to ruin his girlfriend's vacation. And if you judge Jadzia and Worf's relationship solely on this episode, you would think they were a horrible match. Dax seems actively annoyed by him through most of it, and the touching moments don't really overcome the ludicrous turns for Worf's character. It doesn't help things that Worf suffers absolutely no consequences for what he does, either personally or professionally, despite the fact that, again, he teamed up with terrorists. Behind the scenes, folks don't look back at this episode too fondly either. Ira Steven Behr said he regretted making it, and co-writer Robert Hewitt Wolfe said it was his least favorite episode he's written. There were other problems for various reasons, but the real issue came with the concept from the very beginning. Apparently, they were inspired by the 1947 play A Moon for the Misbegotten, wherein tragedy befalls the main characters because of alcohol and sexuality. But they seem to want to replicate the play's controversial nature more than the actual themes. And, it's easy to shock audiences in the 1940s with depictions of drinking and sexuality, but in 1996, you kinda had to do a little more to push the boundaries. And that's a problem, because also, they had to air this on network TV. It's a little hard to depict extreme sexual immorality on a show where you can't even use sexy bathing suits, And if anything, this episode went backwards on that front, because Picard's banana hammock in the first Risa episode was more titillating than this. In fact, they had to reshoot scenes to be less sexy. Robert Hewitt Wolfe and Ira Steven Behr admitted that this was the driving force that made this episode fail. As Wolfe put it, "We couldn't show skin, so there was no sex. It became a totally asexual show, and once that happened, the whole thing got flushed down the toilet because none of it made sense anymore." As they were working on it, they debated trashing the episode multiple times. But it kinda seems like Rick Berman was really pushing for them to do it. I can only gather this from context clues, but it does seem likely that if anyone was wanting them to add more sex, it was Rick fucking Berman. All of that aside, even if they were able to make things as edgy as they wanted, What exactly is the message here? That the Federation somehow became lost in the excess of it all? That it's a slippery slope down the road of lust and gluttony? Somewhere in here, we were supposed to think things have gone too far on Risa and side with the essentialists? The logic behind their movement is flimsy at best, which only makes Worf seem dumber for joining them. The entire plot is confusing and barely seems to have a point, which in turn only makes it irritating. I'm not sure what we were supposed to think about Curzon being fucked to death either, or why they felt this was necessary to add to Dax's character. But whatever. I don't see there being a better episode in here, to be honest. They were attempting, something, but it mostly casts a dark cloud over Worf's character.